Hello, my name is Malik Henry, and our camera guy here is Enrique Mosley, and we are both student workers here at Enmity E. Page Library. And for our portion of the Picnic at Page, we will be recording some of our doctors of the library, our librarians. And first up, we have Dr. Lawson. So first off, Dr. Lawson, I want to say again, thank you for allowing us to interview you.
You're welcome.
And we would just be asking you a few questions.
Okay.
Getting a little intimate, if that's okay.
Okay.
All right, so I'm curious to know how the library played into your life when you were younger.
Well, I've always been involved in the library, starting out as a child, okay? So I was an only for 6 years, so both my parents worked full-time, and so after school I'd go to the library.
Cool.
Yeah, it was kind of one of those places that, I mean, the one-stop shop, right, where you go and the librarians take you in, and of course they always had activities there after school, and story time and different things like that. And then you could check out books. So it opened my world up to travel and learning about arts and crafts and you know, things to do in my spare time.
Okay, cool. All right, so what career choice were you always leaning towards as a child, and how did it include, did it include working in the library at all?
You know, it's funny, as much time as I spent in the library initially, it did not. And I come from a family of librarians, so I have 2 librarians, they're retired, 2 aunts that were librarians. One was a school librarian and one worked at, as a matter of fact, Harris Stowe College in St. Louis. And so shout out to Shirley Cole, and she's now since retired, but love you, Auntie. But, and then went on to have friends in the library and that kind of thing, but never ever thought about a career as a librarian until I had my own children and started bringing them into the library world. And then I made friends with not only librarians, but paraprofessionals, other people and staff members that worked in the library. So in our community, it was just a good place to be. I started kind of volunteering and trying to be there to support, of course, our friends group and those types of things, and work with book sales and even bake sales and fundraisers. And so that kind of was the beginning, or was the beginning of my first kind of romance with libraries.
Cool. So you were doing something kind of similar to the Picnic at Page?
Absolutely.
Some events like that?
Yes.
Cool. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So next question, was there ever a deciding factor in your younger years where you realized that the library was the place for you, or, well, now you being an adult, you know?
Well, I realized it was a good fit because, one, it was a place of learning. I've always been really serious about education, but it was also a safe place. It was a place that I could take my kids, and I knew that there was, you know, they could go and sit in the library for hours, and I could go get a book and come back, and they would be there either at story time or, you know, wherever they were, you know, studying or reading or working on projects. And so not only that, it was just a place where the community came out. So you got a chance to meet people in your neighborhood and make friends and that kind of thing. It was great for mothers and networking and businesses and small business owners. But there I made friends, and I made friends with a librarian from North Texas that encouraged me to go to library school.
Wow,
so
networking.
That was it, networking.
Wow, okay. Okay, so basically what I'm getting from you is, you know, you brought your children into the library to learn more about the world, and then that's when you learned that you actually like the environment of the library, and that's how you...
Yeah, and it was the role models. You know, I saw, and this was the public library, so we had a lot of really good role models in our community. You'll find librarians doing a number of things, Malik, from working community service projects to being involved with, I mean, I know librarians today that have worked, and they spend time actually going to people's homes. They're that concerned. Volunteering to babysit children for parents that don't have babysitters. Very dedicated group of people, librarians are. So, yeah, and I mean, I think one of the professions that is just has a great group of people that work work for and in libraries today.
Wow, okay. Well, it sounds like they need a reality show. They sound interesting.
You know, they're interesting. We're kind of, you know, we run the gamut, you know. And then also a shout out to paraprofessionals, because if it were not for support staff, pages, clerks, you know, other staff members, admins, we couldn't do our job. Yeah.
Interesting.
Kind of like a small family.
Right. Okay, so I'm curious to know exactly, like, could you go a little bit into the process of you actually becoming like a librarian? I know you probably got some help from that.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Well, I grew up in St. Louis, and I attended high school in St. Louis, and then from there went to local college, Washington University, I graduated from. Never ever thought about going into library school. At the time, there really wasn't a library program there, even though I had been encouraged by one aunt who had gotten her master's degree from Washington University also. And then, like I said, later on, after seeing more of what the role entailed, kind of liked the fact that being, you know, librarians are involved in policy making in their community. They're involved in helping change, bring about change, not only outside but inside, with helping people find places to vote, how to vote, what is the process to the democratic process, to knowing who their representatives are. What do they need to do to get a driver's license? You'll find a number of things that go in the library. So getting back to the process from there, I actually applied and got accepted to library school. Went to school, graduated, went into libraries, started working in the public library sector, but still was not fulfilled as far as what I wanted to do. And I had an interest in management and was encouraged by a mentor at North Texas, and I went on to take a couple classes, continuing ed. Librarians are always studying, always, I say studying. You will find many continue to go on and are lifelong learners.
Right,
So,
well, you're working in a place of studies and,
yes,
yeah.
and particularly academic libraries now, right? You know, with universities and colleges. So you're encouraged to go on and pursue other things, sometimes double majors, or you go into conferences, recertification, so recurrent training. Long story short, it was during the Bush administration, and funding came about through the Institute of Museums and Libraries. As a matter of fact, it was a sizable grant that was put in place by Laura Bush, George Bush's wife. So living in the state of Texas, you know, I mean, it just kind of fell in place. So I was encouraged to apply. Never ever thought that that was something that I wanted to do or was going to do at the time. I had already got my master's, but had thought about going on to get a PhD.
And then you had your kids already and stuff.
Kids were in school, moved on. It was kind of that right time
Oh,
to
for
study
you
the
to kind
doctorate,
of do something.
go back and, kind of refresh or
Right.
freshen up on the career aspect.
Cool. Okay. So just for our viewers here, how long have you been working here at Inmany E-Page Library?
I have been in Inmany E-Page Library since October 2015, I'm proud to say. Yes.
And you fit right in.
Well, I feel like I do. I feel like I am a Lincolnite now. So I tell you, even though I didn't attend Lincoln, I'm really becoming one of the family. I'm feeling like a family member.
Yes,
anyway.
yes, we welcome you. Okay, our next question. So can you like describe to me the feeling you get when you wake up every morning and realize, like, you know, you're working in a place of research, and you actually have the opportunity to educate people who are ultimately coming to a place to get that? You know, how does that feel?
It feels good. It feels good because I spent the last 10 years, I spent 6 years on a PhD, and not to brag, but putting that time in, thinking about what would I do when I got out, right after I graduated, and now getting a chance to do those things. Working in the capacity of a librarian and assistant administrator, assistant director, and also faculty. So a lot of people don't realize that librarians wear a number of hats, and they can go on to do many, many things. So with that kind of challenges me also. I feel I'm at a point now where It's important to give back as people, as human
Right,
beings,
right.
in the whole cycle of life, right?
Yeah.
Kumbaya and all of that good stuff, right?
Yeah.
Circle of life. But no, seriously, I feel like Lincoln is an excellent environment and place to do that. And of course, HBCU, for me being African American, has a great significance. I have never ever in my wildest dreams imagined, although I had wanted to go to HBCU. So this is great. So it's almost like attending college all over again.
Right. Experiencing a new generation.
A new generation, absolutely.
Yeah, that's cool. Okay, and then the last question, what would you say to those who are interested in actually, studying, the field that you study to get to where you are today?
Is research all you can. Try to ask questions. Come in, talk to librarians, administrators, folks that are in library and information science, have gone through, studied. Those people that are working in libraries can give you the best insight. And different libraries. You have public libraries. We have, of course, we're here with. We've got, 3 or 4 major libraries, state archives, right? We've got an academic, first-class academic or university library here at M&E Page, and then the public library, Missouri Regional River Library. Great places to learn and to talk to people about the positions that they have.
So it's pretty interesting.
Yes.
And librarians are not boring.
Oh, absolutely not. We're fun people.
Yeah, so they're involved a lot. It's what I'm getting with everything. So yeah, but so we thank you. I thank you.